This is Stacy McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast, where CEOs, senior leaders, and C-suite executives share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
My name is Jason Griffith. I'm an entrepreneur, advisor, investor, and coach. I spent the last decade co-founding and growing a company called SiteCompli, which is a New York City-based real estate technology firm that helps real estate organizations better manage their assets. We were an Inc. 500 fastest growing company, a 5-time winner of Crain's Best Places to Work. And after an amazing 10-year run, my co-founder and I just recently exited the business.
Congratulations. That sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I'll be very excited to hear from a leader of a best place to work. This is very exciting. All right. No pressure, Jason. No pressure.
Happy to share.
All right. Question 2. What's the best thing about leading people from your perspective?
Well, I always found leading people to be very rewarding. We definitely developed a reputation at SiteCompli for punching way above our weight class in terms of attracting, retaining, and developing top talent, which as a co-CEO, gave me a great opportunity to lead some pretty incredible people. So the best thing, I don't know if I could think of the best, but like a quick top 3 would probably be, 1, you get to do bigger things, than just if you're an individual contributor. Number 2, I think leading an organization definitely helped me grow my own EQ skills and have really a self-awareness of how I landed on people. And then I think maybe the third thing, which is probably the most important in these crazy times, is the ability to develop a strong sense of community, which I think is just incredibly important for people in great times and in challenging times like we find ourselves in right now.
That's amazing. All right, question 3 for you. I often hear from other leaders that business would be great if it weren't for that pesky people part. I'm curious, what are your thoughts about that? Again, being the best place to work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I understand the sentiment, but I don't personally subscribe to it. I mean, is leading people a challenge? Sure. But I'm a natural extrovert, and I felt that even on the hardest days, I find leading people and building a culture to be incredibly rewarding. Probably first for the personal relationships that I built with my team, and I really thrived on that. I mean, I really practiced getting very, very close with everybody and investing heavily in them. Mentees I've developed over the year, then actually just some of the great alumni who have passed through SiteCompli and gone on to do amazing things at other companies, and I was trying stay in touch with them.
That's awesome. All right, question 4. What other successful business leaders like yourself should be on the show? Who should we be paying attention to?
Yeah, I think one really exciting CEO is Gemma Postlethwaite, and she's the CEO of Horizon. And I'm happy to connect you with her, but she's one of the smartest CEOs and gifted communicators I've ever met.
Wow. I love that. Well, yes, we will definitely take you up on that offer for an introduction. We love great, powerful leaders on this show. So thank you for that. What piece of advice about communication would you give to other leaders?
I think I would probably say that a leader should not underestimate the role of communication in a growing business, because communication really needs to scale with the business. And, I remember when SiteCompli had, 5-10 people, and it was easy. We'd all get into an office on Monday morning and talk about our plan for the week, and everybody knew exactly what was going on. But fast forward and you have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 people, suddenly those plans go out the window. And you have line level workers and mid-level managers and the executive team, and there's a lot of room for communication missteps, different interpretations of plans, nuances and wordings, questions that no one thought about, people sort of shooting answers from the hip. It's kind of inevitable, but at SiteCompli, we build very, very deliberate, multi-level and multi-layered communication protocols, everything from monthly town halls to skip level meetings where I would meet kind of 2 levels down on my team to understand what things were getting missed. We had weekly newsletters. We even had something called a lunch lottery where every week a computer would select 4 random people from different tenures, different departments to go have lunch together on the company. And back when you could go out and have lunch. But hopefully that will return again. But one of the things that was so great about that was that, you know, it really enabled us to break down and see over silos so that, you know, the engineer who was building a product could have a chat directly with the salesperson who was out in the field. And I think you need all of those different components in order to have a strategy that grows and adjusts as the business scales.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit more about the skip meetings. How did the managers who were being skipped feel about those? Did you have a hard time rolling those out, or did they get embraced pretty easily?
Yeah, I think that they were embraced pretty easily. And we also, you know, I think one of the nice things about that meeting is we would always come away from that meeting with a thematic sense saying like, you know, I think this concept is getting missed or misinterpreted, or there's something going on here where people are concerned about this plan, this, you know, what have you. And so when we would have our executive meetings, it usually was not targeted at like one person, one team, one group. It was like, hey guys, thematically, I think we got to think about this so we can make some adjustments about how we talk about this, because it seems from the skip level team that like they're just not getting it. So I think it was very, very instructive, and I think that the executive team found it helpful. And obviously you have to be careful about, you know, making sure that people didn't feel like we were going around them, and it wasn't that theme. I think it just gave us a better pulse of the business. And when you combine that with things like town hall meetings, or my co-founder and I would have monthly sort of coffee chat sessions where people just grab a cup of coffee and chat with us about anything, it would give us an insight into the business about where we may have blind spots in our communication.
Love that. All right, magic question number 6 for you. Tell us about your favorite boss or teacher who's really influenced you.
Oh yeah, this one's an easy one for me. When I got my MBA at Columbia, and at the time, the most sought after professor in the MBA program was Mike Feiner. And Mike Feiner was former chief people officer of PepsiCo. So he built, you know, one of the world's most well-renowned people operations. And he wrote a great book called his class was called High Performance Leadership. His book is called The Finer Points of Leadership. And his fingerprints were really, you know, all over our organization. I mean, I think for me, the thing that was one of the most hard-hitting lessons was about understanding that there's a difference between leadership and management, and really both are really important, but they're two very different functions, and you really need to carve out time for leadership and management in your daily schedule as an executive. And I think it really was an essential ingredient to great communications, and he continues to be a great mentor to me and a lot of the folks who, you know, who came from the SiteCompli world and have gone on.
I love that. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to look up that book. I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah,
well,
and it's and Feiner is Feiner.
That's perfect. Thank you. I had a feeling it was something other than Finer.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. How can people find you if they want to reach out and say hi, or, you know, learn more about
absolutely.
you?
They can go to my website, griffithadvisory.com, GRIFFITH advisory.com.
That's amazing. Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show. I learned a ton today. I'm really excited about that. This is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast. For more ideas and insights, please do go check us out at www.concilioteam.com. We look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.